right? Policy Forum 2024. I've introduced this before, but let's refresh, right? The key theme will be Singapore in review. Key issues for next January election, right? The date, just mark down your date, 21st of December 2024 is a Saturday. The forum will start 1:30 to 5 p.m. But 1 p.m. is for registration, right? So come early if you have bought the ticket, right? The venue is a Queen Ballroom, the second floor at Mercure, Singapore, Bugis, Middle Road down there. 122 Middle Road is somewhere like next to the Waterloo Street, the Guang Yi Miao there. Okay. For this forum, we actually have invited a few guest speakers because we do not want it to be very boring, to be just only for PPP's forum, right? We invited a couple of political parties. They have sent their representative to speak in our forum, and I will be the moderator, right? And of course, from my party, we will have a representative also as a speaker. But the first speaker I want to introduce for today is actually the one and only one, Dr. James Gomez, not Mr. Dr. James Gomez. Okay, James Gomez, he actually, let's see his profile first, as of now, okay? There is his profile. I've spoken to him, right? I said, you're academic, and he a bit twice. Yeah, I'm not academic. He viewed himself as a political scientist, right? He got his doctorate from Monash, University of Monash in Australia. And now he's a regional director of Asia Centre, a research institute with offices in Cambodia, Malaysia, and Thailand. This research center, called the Asia Centre, is actually founded by himself, right? And basically, they do research in geopolitics. That means Southeast Asia, South Asia, and Asia Pacific, right, region, right? They give insights to the political changes and political movement, so on and so forth, right? In Singapore, he's known for his contributions to civil society and as a parliamentary election candidate, right? He is presently a member of the Central Executive Committee, member of Singapore Democratic Party, right? SDP. So he's representing SDP. Now, Dr. James Gomez. I always call him James or James Gomez because we come a long way, right from 2001 when I joined Workers' Party. But he joined Workers' Party even earlier, right? But his activism is actually much further from his political participation, right? He was the first person in Singapore. Right? I say the first person, no joke, in the era of LKY Iron Fist political handling, right? There was basically no NGO in Singapore, no political NGO, so to speak. Right? He was the very first person who have formally registered Think Center, right? Many of you may not know what is Think Center, but Think Center is quite an inspiration for people during that time, undergraduates and fresh graduates from NUS who likes politics, right? Who are very into the politics observation. Now, beside Think Center, there was another one called the Round Table, right? Which Simon Tay and Vivian Ballon Christmas was in there, right? They talk about the elites, all our top uh, students from the universities, whether local or foreigner. They have this round table. Then subsequently, Vivian Ballon Christian joined Workers PAP, we know, right? But James Gomez, being James Gomez, the only one James Gomez, he actually went on to register a political NGO as a company, okay, not as a society as per se, right? As a company, right? It's called Think Center, and on and off they will have forums, they will conduct forums, they will have a press release, talk about current affairs, well, especially political affairs, right? You can do some research about that. You like to, right? Later on, you move on to the front line. Now, the process for activists to progress from an NGO perspective, especially political activism into political arena, is actually quite natural, right? Dr. James Gomez progresses from that, but at the same time, he um, his first contest with a Workers' Party in the 2001 general election was not smooth. In fact, his team was disqualified for some technicality. Right, the forms was not properly filled, and they were not allowed to contest, so to speak. So they walk off together with Dr. Tan Bing Sing, or walk off the nomination center. Now it's better lah. We are more open lah. But back then it's very strict ah. Wow, they will check all your forms. Wow, one signature lacking, then so on and so forth. You don't have a lawyers beside you. You know, you cannot sign the some form on your own, and you're disqualified from nomination. That was what happened, right? That is why in 2001, Workers' Party ended up with 2 seats contested only. There's Yishun East and Hougang, right? But James Gomez stayed on with Workers' Party, and that's where we fought together as again when I joined Workers' Party later, slightly later after um, the general election in 2001, right? And we were in Aljunied GRC together with Sylvia Lim and Tanwiwa and Inchik Raizan, okay? And we fought a beautiful battle, and we sent Sylvia Lim into Parliament as an NCMP, right? Later on, subsequently, I left Workers' Party, and so did James, right? We part our ways, right? But James Gomez continued his study actually, and that's where he got his doctorate in political science in Monash from Monash universities, right? And he went on to work for NGOs overseas. Okay, yeah, he's more a political scientist. Is correct, a political scientist. He didn't want to stay in the academic field, teaching in universities and all that. We have a chat, because he felt that if you are under the university uh, environment, especially in Singapore, right, your hands and tongue are tied together. You cannot speak freely. You cannot speak your mind freely, and that's where we see some of the academic people, some political scientists especially, right, left NUS or IPS, right, after the tenure because they are too vocal against the ruling party. That is the PAP, right? That was what happened. Okay, so James decided not to follow that path, and he went for NGOs, worked with NGOs, and later on started his own think tank again. Not the think center now, but it's called the Asia Centre. And this time, he didn't register Asia Centre in Singapore. He registered in Malaysia, Cambodia, Thailand, and he might be having another office in India, maybe, right, or somewhere else. Uh, he got a lot of plans for that, right? So, as a political scientist, he look at the macro of trend on what is happening in the region and how such a perspective, political waves, will affect us as a small country, right? Well, for this upcoming event, of course, James is an expert in making forums and all that. So I also seek his advice on certain things, how to go about it and all that. And we have a great time. I hope we have a great time and we have a fruitful event or forum in the upcoming one, 21st of December 2024. Okay, so if you are interested, right, please, please, remember the time, right? Come early, about 1 p.m. for registration. We are charging $20. Not that we are fundraising or anything like that, but we just trying to defray the cost because holding it in a hotel is actually quite expensive, right? A small party like us, we will try our best, okay? And of course, this is the wait, let me see, the pay now. You can pay now. I think some people complain cannot pay now. I have a few people who try to pay through the pay now. They say cannot do it and all that. Never mind. If you cannot do the pay now, doesn't matter. Okay. What you can do is you fill up the Google form, right? Fill out the Google form, and then what you do is we will call you, right? We will call you and ask why you are unable to pay and all that, and we will provide another means for you to do the payment for that matter. Okay, so no issue on that. Right? Policy form pay now is this. Right? You can do a pay now. Right? PayLah also can, but PayLah a bit leceh a bit. Right? PayNow is a faster way because PayNow will have an indication for you are paying for the policy forum 2024. Right? Use this particular PayNow. You just scan it, you will come up with $20 straight. Right? No more, no less. Okay. Okay. That is basically our James Gomez, Dr. James Gomez. Now, just a bit more about Dr. James Gomez. Um, you know, we have a special relationship, so to speak. Okay, special, very special relationship, right? And admittedly, in the beginning, we didn't see eye to eye to a lot of things in the Workers' Party, right? But politics is about compromises, right? So we can work with anyone. Although we have differences, we just focus on our common aim, common objective, and work together. Right? And he taught me that, in spite of the fact that you can disagree with a lot of things with each other, but we have a common aim. Right? Unity is strength. Right? Although during the 2006 election, right, when the James Gomez saga came about, where the filling of the form, right, the minority form saga, right. Well, everybody tries to blame him and all that, even within the Workers' Party. But I'm the only one who stood up, right, and said, look, whether we like it or not, right, he's one of us as a team. I made my last speech, my rally speech, okay, one of rally speech, to say in very simple terms. George Shaw back then was our opponent. So George Cho said, why not we drop James, right? Then my reply to George Cho was, I went through OCS, Officer Cadet School, just like George Cho have done so as a army officer, SAA officer we have gone through. The very first principle we learn, right, is duty, honor, country. And within the honor, right, leave no man behind. We don't throw people under the bus. Right? That is what we believe. So in spite of all the previous prior differences that we have, when the crunch comes, we will stand together as one. And we stand and support each other. And that is what cooperation is all about. Okay. So after that, we have our parted ways, but amicably, we always meet up for coffee, for tea. Of course, he's always busy with his NGO work overseas. Because for people like him, a political scientist, it is very difficult for the official establishment like IPS or NUS to employ him. A lot of people who have a doctorate, who join opposition politics, and not only him, a lot of other people will not find employment within an establishment because PAP tends to say PAP is the government and the government is PAP. They have not drawn the line clearly, right? And that is actually unhealthy, very unhealthy, right? That's why Jaron George went over to Hong Kong, then Donald Low, okay, right, and so on and so forth, right? If we ever come into power, that will stop. Keep the civil service independent of political interference from the ruling party. And civil servants must understand, right? If we start to have a first change of power, okay, we start to have a change of power, it will mean that what you serve right now may not be what you will face later if there's a change of ruling party. So you better be independent. But due to the fact that one party rule have been so prolonged in Singapore, 60 years, there's not a system, the mindset for the civil servant that you don't give in to every unreasonable demand from the ruling party, right? And you should resist the interference from the political leaders, right, in the running of the ministries, your schools, your universities, and so on and so forth. That should be what my party represents, the separation of powers, not only in parliament, but in institutional separation of powers.